you got to start from the beginning.
Yes, dude.
That's what we'll do.
That's probably the most expertly crafted scene from Tarantino. Like anytime you see somebody breaking down a Tarantino movie, they're always talking about this scene because it's just like a masterclass in like tension and suspense. I honestly feel like Inglourious Basterds is probably his most suspenseful movie. There's like 2 big scenes where the suspense is just like, there's an interview with Tarantino talking about, he's sitting down with somebody and he's explaining like the way he builds these scenes. He's like, it's like he's pulling a rubber band. He's like, he's pulling it as long as it possibly can go. Like as long as the scene holds and the scene's interesting and you're engaged, that tension, that suspension just gets insane until that rubber band finally breaks. And then like giant action Tarantino style, blood, guts, everybody shooting each other. But like the opening scene and that bar scene, he has like this just suspension that builds. So honestly, let's pull up this scene here.
But you gotta love it, just because, just of how simple it is. It's really, it's essentially just 2 guys talking, or really 1 guy talking and the other listening.
Interrogation.
Yeah,
because it's 20 minutes. It's 19 minutes long. It's a prologue. Like there's, I guess Hans Landa comes in, but it's not a main character. These are both 2 side characters. The main character in this scene, the protagonist, doesn't show up ever again. Like it's just like they wasted. I'm saying wasted. They didn't really waste it, but like wasting 20 minutes on like 2 characters that aren't that prevalent in the movie.
But you're going 20 minutes without seeing the bastards.
Yeah, or knowing what the plot is about.
Yeah,
it sets the plot up obviously because Shoshana obviously escapes, but like 20 minutes of just like building up the story to where like you understand who Hans Landa is and like how cunning he is and how off he is because of how polite he is, while also he's doing some fucked up shit. He's a Nazi. Clearly, he's a bad guy. All right, let's play it. So they obviously open it where it's like nice, calm, peaceful. This guy's living life on his beautiful land in the countryside of France.
Life is good.
Yep. And even in the script, so in the script, whenever the guy's hacking at the log here, when he writes in the script, he says, the owner of the property, a bull of a man, French farmer, brings an axe up and down on a tree stump, blemishing his property. However, simply by sight, you never know if he's been beating at this stump for the last year or just started today. So it's kind of like suggesting he has this problem. Obviously, it's like the Nazis are in his country. He's hiding Jews. We know that later in the scene. And he's just like, this is just showing that this is like their normal life. They're always doing this. Their life is very stable.
Yeah.
But they have a risk.
There's almost, a sense of timelessness.
Yeah, like there's a blemish in his country. It's invaded by Nazis, and on his property has a blemish of this stump. And so he's hacking at it away, and you don't know how long it's been there or if he's been doing it for weeks, months, or just started today. And so it's like this problem is just like persistent in this people's life, but they're stable. Like it's like that log is stable, but he's trying to hack at it, but can't get anywhere with it. So it's just kind of an interesting little detail he adds in there.
He's having to tell them not to run. Yeah, that's the second time he does it, actually, because the first time the 2 girls, his 2 daughters, like kind of run out of the house, and he's like, hey, like, calm down.
Yeah, go inside.
Yeah, it's just normal. They're just, we just have visitors coming.
Yeah, so when he tells her don't run, you realize like, okay, they're very nervous, and they have to be very careful with how they play their cards in this scene.
Yeah,
because they are, we don't know it yet, but they are guilty of what they're getting investigated for in this scene. So he's like, don't run, because they have to play their cards very carefully. And then when Hans Landa comes up, comes into the scene, holds his hand for way too long.
J'espérais que vous m'inviteriez à entrer chez vous afin que nous puissions avoir une discussion.
Certainement.
So you already know he's like,
he's asserting his dominance with authority.
Yeah, and it's funny because throughout the scene you'll hear Hans Landa, he'll say stuff like, may I please do this, ask permission for things. He's not, obviously, Pierre Lapetite can't say no to anything Hans Landa says. So every time he asks him a question, it's almost like he's just poking at him, revealing the fact that you have no control in the situation.
Yeah.
It's like a reminder, like, can I please smoke my pipe? Can I please come inside? Can you invite me in your house?
Mm-hmm.
It's like pretending. It's an interrogation tactic. He's pretending.
Yeah, and it's also like the more you keep asking questions, the more you're just getting out of them. So the more they have to talk.
Yep.
And the more they talk, you get to see how they respond, like just what their face tells you, everything like that. So the more he keeps asking questions, even if it's just simple stuff like that, they're revealing a lot more.
Yep. And so right when he gets in the house is kind of where the camera work starts to go, where it's kind of suggesting things and suggesting Hans Landa power. And so he walks in the scene, he's small house, right?
Colonel Landa, voici ma famille.
they show them like in a portrait because it's like they're stuck. Like they're nowhere to go. It's
Yeah,
just like they're getting stared at full body. You have to like just watch them.
Yeah, they're just posing.
Yeah, because Hans Landa is studying them right now. As he walks, Hans Landa, and throughout the scene, you'll notice he's the only one that moves the camera.
Colonel SS Hans Landa, mademoiselle, à votre service. Les rumeurs qui circulent dans les villages au sujet de votre famille sont tout à fait fondées.
Right there when he says, the rumors are true about your family, she's kind of like, what? Like, what do you mean? What rumors have you heard? Maybe the rumors about the Jews underneath their floorboards. And so right when she kind of like looks up, it's kind of like, she almost gives like a, oh fuck.
Les rumeurs qui circulent dans les villages au sujet de votre famille sont tout à fait fondées.
She's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
What rumors are you talking about?
Monsieur Lapedite, vos filles sont toutes plus jolies les unes que les autres.
Merci.
Watch him. Stares at her. Staring at her ass because he's like, he caught it. He's a detective. That guy knows, he knows what he came here for. And so when she gives that line, he's like staring uncomfortably at her for a long time. Again, as he moves, the camera moves. He's the only one that directs the camera.
Tu veux bien aller chercher du vin pour le colonel?
Ah, mais non, merci beaucoup, monsieur Lapedite, pas de vin. Puisque nous sommes sur une exploitation laitière, je suppose.
I love the use of milk.
Yeah, it's like such a stereotype of movies. Like the bad guy always drinks milk.
Well, it's usually, yeah, it can be used for that. I mean, it's really supposed to show kind of innocence. That's like the main thing that milk is used for. But then when you do it with a villain like this, it just makes them so much more creepy. Yeah, because they do the same thing with Anton in No Country for Old Men. You know, he's like seen drinking the milk as he's contemplating how he's going to figure out how to get his money back. And you know he's willing to kill whoever. You know, this guy, he's so sophisticated. He's charming. He's just very polite. I mean, it's weird because you know he's a bad guy, but you know that like if you saw him after he gets done with his day at work and he comes home, he's just going to act like everything's so normal. Like, how was work today, honey? It was pleasant. You know, like it's just so nice. You wonder what this guy's actually like. Yeah. You know, what this character, having a normal conversation with him would go. He would see no wrong with what he's doing. You know, he's a sociopath like that.
Yeah, he enjoys the power. He's playing his role in the Nazi regime. Yeah. He does it very well.
And he's very proud of it.
Yep.
You know, so he's an interesting character.
Yeah.
Tu veux bien aller fermer la fenêtre, s'il te plaît?
See, none of these cameras, the camera doesn't move when these characters walk around. The camera only shifts around whenever Hans Landa's in the scene.
Just to show how much control he has.
Yep.
Yeah.
They pour the milk for him. He does the ultimate power move.
Merci.
Just chugs that shit one gulp.
Monsieur, à votre famille et à vos vaches, je dis bravo.
Merci.
Nice guy.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Once we get in the interrogation, they're having just a standard conversation. It's just like the opening questions, and the scene shot very classically. Like there's not any odd camera work. It's just a classic two-shot, or not two-shot, over-the-shoulder shot, just classic camera coverage.
Certainement.
Well, I'm very familiar with you and your family. I have no way of knowing if you are familiar with who I am. Are you aware of my existence?
Boom. That right when he like kind of starts pressuring, it's like, do you know who I am and what I do? He's a very famous, the Jew hunter. He's very famous with like hunting the Jews and finding out where they're at. That's the first time you get you see him solo in frame because now he's kind of isolated and alone. He kind of realizes he's stranded on an island because he's fucked now. He's realizing like, shit, I am standing across the Jew hunter. This isn't like a friendly conversation. The other shots beforehand kind of suggested it's like just an easy conversation. And then right when you kind of realize who's at the table, he's shot alone.
Yes.
This is good.
Hans Landa doesn't have a solo shot because he's comfortable in control. Yeah. So after he kind of like talks to him and starts to give him what he wants, like he's giving him answers. It's like he's starting to get comfortable. He thinks he's like might be in the clear. So once he starts taking out his paperwork, you kind of think, because think about like hate and evil. Like hate and evil, when you think about it, it's like always like from a rough point where it's violent. It's not organized. It's not structured. And so when he pulls out the papers, it kind of seems like it's going to be okay. He's just doing paperwork. Like there's not people that are in offices and do paperwork. They're not really evil. They're just kind of doing their jobs and just being a bureaucrat. And so him doing his paperwork, it just kind of seems normal. But when you honestly think about it, people that do evils just like through paperwork and being organized with how they're delivering evils, like he's keeping track of the Jews and the families and like the children. Like he's like keeping order of everybody there is so he can then capture them. So like thinking about like,
and then he's just gonna mark them off the list.
Yeah, just that's how dark it is. It's like you do these atrocities just through paperwork, and
he's truly just doing his job.
Yeah, and it's an evil job.
What have you heard about the Dreyfuses, Monsieur Lapadite?
Only rumors.
I love rumors.
See, so now he feels comfortable. So now you see Hans Landa in the scene because he's like, I'm giving him answers. It's gonna be okay. I'm playing my cards right. He's taking out paperwork. I just gotta answer these questions, and I'm okay. So now he feels a little bit more comfortable. Hans Landa's now on the shot.
Facts can be so misleading. Were rumors true or false are often revealing. So, Monsieur Lapadite, what rumors have you heard regarding the Dreyfuses?
They cut it on him one more time where he's alone, where now he's like has to put on his performance. He's going to have to tell his lie, and it's like we're going to focus on him to see if he can tell his lie the right way, and will Hans Landa believe his lie?
Again, this is just a rumor, but we heard the Dreyfuses had made their way into Spain.
And so it's interesting because they close up on him. That's like his only close up until this pressure kind of comes on later in the scene. And so I think the close up here is just Pierre's trying to take control now. Like he's giving him answers like we were talking about. So now he's trying to take control again. So they kind of close up on him because he's trying to play it cool, be comfortable.
So the rumors you've heard have been of escape?
Oui.
Yeah, it's his way of reminding him, this is my home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least he's trying to. He's trying to like at least get a little bit of
Having never
power.
met the Dreyfuses, would you confirm for me the exact...
Well, even the way that he's lighting it compared to how we're about to see Hans do it, Hans is so much smoother. Just, he's speaking while he's doing it.
Yes.
Like he never misses a beat.
Okay, so watch this.
Father?
So Hans Landa just asked him, the Dreyfuses are the only family we don't have accounted for. So can you remind me of their names so I make sure I have my records correct?
Jacob? Wife? Miriam? And her brother?
Her brother. Look at Hans Landa's face. He's confused. The brother, because think about if you're a family, you don't live with your brother normally. Standard family is just the husband, wife, and the kids. And so he said, and her brother this age, and he's like, brother. That kind of confirms for Hans Landa, there must be the brother underneath the floorboards.
Yeah.
The brother probably didn't live in their house. That's why he's not in the records. And he's like, the brother. Oh, how old is he? Because he's like,
okay, yeah.
I don't have the brother on deck. He didn't live in that house. Why are you saying the brother? Because he's probably under the fucking floorboards right now. So when he realizes that, the camera shifts around, the tables have turned. He kind of revealed himself that the Jews are actually under the floorboards right now.
30, 31.
Yeah, see how quiet he just said that? He's like,
yeah.
Continue.
And the children.
And Shoshana?
And Shoshana.
So that's a cool shot here because it's about to come down to the floorboards and reveal. Like, have you seen that clip of Alfred Hitchcock talking about suspense? There's a I might play it in post, but Alfred Hitchcock talks about building suspense, and he says, imagine there's a scene where there's like a conversation going on. I'm butchering this, but he says, imagine there's a scene going on and people are talking, and then all of a sudden a bomb explodes. It's like, okay, well, that was crazy. But imagine there's a scene where they start talking, and then you show a bomb on the table, and then you keep hearing them talk. So you're like, oh, fuck, is that bomb going to go off? So that builds a suspense. So that's just a classic filmmaking technique where Tarantino then shows the camera moves down here in this scene to reveal the bomb under the table. It's like, fuck, they are guilty. And it shows it from like an outside perspective because all the rest of the shots have been like in the conversation, standard coverage, but they shoot it from outside of the conversation because this is the Jews listening in finally because it shows it. It's like you can kind of suggest this is the Jews' point of view under the floor.
Not really sure.
I love how slow it is too. It's like slowly revealing, like, oh no, are they there? Fuck, they are there.
because at this point, he's walked in, he's changed the language, he's had 2 glasses of milk. The owner of the house has already smoked his pipe, but he wasn't able to talk or anything. You know, he wasn't trying to be friendly. He was just smoking it. And then Hans takes full control. he's pretty much showing him, like, I'm more comfortable in your house than you are. Like, why would that be unless you're hiding something from me?
Yep, exactly. And even the fact that he does switch to English early is a point. He says, I'm kind of running low on my French. I'm not very good at French, so can we please switch to English? He's not doing that because he's not good at French. There's later scenes in this movie where his French is spot on, and he's using big words in French.
He even knows Italian.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's very prominent in a lot of languages,
and he can speak them very well. And so he's lying there. It's an interrogation technique, and he's switching to English because he assumes that the Jews are under the table.
Yeah.
Under the table, I guess, but under the floorboards. And so that's just a hint that he does know what's going on because he switches to English, assuming that the people under the floor don't speak English.
Just so much better. Like, it's classier looking. It's
big
it's
big
clearly an expensive pipe. Yeah.
And it's funny because like,
and even the way he pulls out, had that thing ready.
Yeah, just showing I got the power, bitch. Don't forget me. I got a bigger pipe than you. And then right when he pulls it out, they break the 180-degree line, that rule of where you're supposed to shoot on one side of the frame. They break it because it shows like the tides are shifting. Like, oh fuck, like he has a bigger pipe. Is he trying to like suggest his power here in this scene?
Yeah,
which obviously he is.
Yeah, and then just the whole
Dictates.
He's talking while he's doing it. He clearly does this all the time.
Yeah, because they don't close up on him because he's not playing a character like Pierre's lying when he lights his pipe. He's like, it's a close up because he's like very nervous and he's like, let me play this cool. Okay, I'm doing good. He's like, Pierre's focusing on himself with how he's lighting the cigar or
he's
the pipe.
Literally just lighting the pipe.
Yeah, he's like just doing it because he's comfortable.
Yeah, he's not giving it any thought.
No.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah,
I must have my men
that's
enter
awesome.
your home.
And then as that tension builds, for the first time we see Hans in a fucking tight close up.
Such unnecessary. I might add also that any information that makes a performance of mine
That slow pushing, you kind of feel like something's about to happen.
With punishment. Actually, quite the contrary. It will be met with reward. And that reward will be your family will see
Pure dread on that face.
Anyway,
but he's still, like right now, he's still kind of clinging on to his charisma. Like you can like see it slowly fading away as he's talking, but it's still kind of there.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, dude, just you watch it happen in the same shot. Like his face just changes.
Yeah.
And there's Hans.
Yep.
During the rest of our occupation of your country.
That face, bro.
Just right there. There's Hans.
Because most of the scene before this, when they're talking, the shots they kind of go out of the over the shoulder shot, and they just kind of show you from like you're watching the conversation like outside of it. But now like when it's the tension is at its peak and the climax is about to happen, where he's about to ask that hard question of like, you are hiding people, are you not?
Yeah, he's not even he's not even asking at this point. Yeah, like he's been asking questions, but the way that he like says it, he's like, you're hiding people.
Yeah, but he poses as a question.
Yeah.
Like kind of the same thing where how he's posing to be nice. He's not being nice. It's all interrogation. But they put you right in the tension now. Like you're seeing their face, and now you're like put right in the middle of this conversation and really feel this tension now.
You're sheltering enemies of the state, are you not?
Yes.
You're sheltering them underneath your floorboards, aren't you?
That ticking in the back of the clock, just the bomb's about to go off, right?
Yep.
Yes.
It just sucks because you're thinking about this character, the guy that owns his house. He's been hiding them. We don't know for how long. We don't even know if he had them 9 months ago. So we don't even know if he had been lying at that time. Do we? Did they confirm like he had been hiding them?
Him, Pierre?
Yeah.
Like how long they've been doing it for?
Yeah. So we know that, some Nazis had visited him 9 months ago and had interrogated him. We don't know if he had been harboring them at that time or not. Regardless, there's kind of the sense of this is not how that first time went.
I would assume based on the scene, I would assume they probably did shelter them the whole time because
they're coming.
Because he comes back to come check because Hans Lana's like, there weren't any Jews there? Are you sure?
Yeah.
And so he even mentions something about the Germans think like a predatory hawk. They only know, he's like, but me, I know how to think like a Jew.
Yeah.
And so he says, I know where they could hide. He's like, I'm thinking of places that a German soldier wouldn't think.
Yeah.
And so like I think the first German soldiers that came through to investigate, they didn't check under the floorboards. They didn't even think that'd be a place somebody would hide.
Yeah. But the guy that owns the home, it was already probably just so hard the first time. And then after 9 months, he probably thinks he's in the clear. But it was already just so, when they left that first time, just that sense of relief, like, oh my God, he can't do it a second time.
Yeah, I'm actually, that made me think, like, maybe that log, a better way to say it is, he has this problem, this blemish on his property. The blemish could be the Jews because it's illegal in the country of Nazi-occupied France. And so, like, he's hacking at this log trying to get it away, but he just can't get this problem away because he has to be there for them. But that, the log is that symbolism of, like, the Jews underneath the floorboards, like the problem that he's, like, hacking that away, trying to, like, not wanting it to be there, but he knows he has to. And then the log is there too, is like that symbol. And then obviously he tells the people to go.
Yes.
Tells them to play along to my masquerade.
Say we'll just flip it. Didn't even finish his milk.
Nope.
Got too excited.
So this shot right here. So he's doing this masquerade for the Jews under the floorboards. He doesn't want them to know that he's onto them, so that way they can kill him while they're still hiding, so they don't try to escape and make it harder for him.
So he's got the 3 soldiers replacing the 3 daughters.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all a show, and so it shows you kind of the point of view of what the Jewish people under the floorboard are thinking is going on, because it only shows you their boots walking in. So you don't see the faces, you just see the boots and you hear the steps.
Yeah.
This is like what the Jews are thinking it is. Just the ladies walking in, they just hear feet.
Yeah, they thought they were getting away, which was even worse.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, we did it. We made it. And in their last moments as a family, they thought they were all going to be safe.
Yeah. Like,
Just makes it so much more
And just
heartbreaking.
bullets breaking them